Imagine living the best possible life in your mind where you have an amazing child, you're 5 months pregnant, and you have what others think an enviable job where it allows you to travel to the Caribbean several times a year, where you stay in the most opulent hotels, boutique hotels, and have the luxury of having breakfast on the white sandy beach, or wherever you want to for that matter. Imagine getting yourself to a situation where you own your own house outright because you chose to get out of your own way by sacrificing, by giving yourself £20 a week for over 2 years religiously in order for you to overpay on your mortgage. So at the end of it, you'd have a house outright to give yourself choices. Imagine you now go to look at a second property, which is going to be your forever home with a white picket fence, the dream that you've ever wanted. And then you realize that day that you've left your mobile phone behind. I know, it's like your arm's being chopped off. And then you go back home and you see dozens upon dozens of missed calls. So you're thinking, something's not right. But you try to return the calls, and all you get is engaged tones. So in this age of millennial that we're in, what do? We go to social media to go and connect with our friends and our families. And as you go to social media, you see a picture of your holiday home that you own on social media, on a news report with the heading saying, 59-year-old man bludgeoned to death, and the woman he was with, they tried to behead her. So you think, house, article, and you reread, says, Errol Bennett, 59-year-old man. Errol Bennett was my father, is my father. And in that moment, an overwhelming grief grips your entire body. And numbness washes over you like never before. And you automatically start typing, my father has been murdered in Jamaica this morning. So you no longer have to imagine, that was me. And that could be any one of you at any given time. Emotional trauma does not discriminate. No matter race, gender, background, whatever it may be, it can come to any of us at any given time. But it's for us to understand, how do we get out of our own way to overcome that? And that's by bridging your mindset gap. So in that moment, I could hear somebody outside screaming like a banshee, just a shriek that was going straight through you. And I stopped and realized that was me. I had to, in that minute, that moment, decide, am I going to allow this to make me feel like I can't cope, I can't push forward, to debilitate me? And I thought back to the teachings of a great mentor, my father, who was a community-spirited, kind, gentle, giving human being that would go out of his way to help anybody. And he always used to, in my mind, lecture me, as we always feel our parents lecture us. But that was the minute I realized, in that heightened of grief, that I was getting in my own way when someone is trying to teach you lessons to help you in your present and your future. So I turned to some of these lessons that he used to teach me, and he told me this many times. I never got it at that time, but I did in that moment. Take the emotion out and put the passion in. Now, that's not to say that emotion is a bad thing or a negative thing. It's a case of learning to make sure that when you are going to have to deal with something, that you don't react, but you respond. And in that moment, I chose, I'm going to respond to this and not react where I can't take back any of my actions and consequences of that. So, 5 months pregnant, I decide I'm going to go and bring my father back so he can have a dignified burial, and also for me to pursue judicial justice for him, because he's worth it, like every single person, every human being on this planet is worth it. We owe it, not just to ourselves, not just to our loved ones, to push forward and seek justice when things are not going right. So this wasn't without its challenges. So the many challenges I met along the way, just some of them are, the murderer actually got my number and was taunting me about how he had killed my father. My father's body then went missing. And then I was having employment issues. And then I went globally around the world in press articles. And then I went on to start receiving death threats, real death threats. So I had to prepare myself that tomorrow I may not see. So I pretty much checked myself out of life and said goodbye to my children and to my partner, and made preparations knowing that tomorrow I may not see. But one thing that I was certain of, that I was not going to go down without a fight for justice. And we all will find ourselves in difficult situations, and we have to find that strength to push forward no matter what, and never, ever give up. Now, my father, he taught me amazing things. Amazing things such as, it's never too late for a shower of rain. So that means that even if you're not getting the results right here, right now, doesn't mean you're never going to get them. He also taught me things such as, shortcuts do not make it. If you cut out the steps, you don't think that you're going to get there. You have to do the steps. You have to have patience, my girlie would say, patience. You have to persevere. So, when you feel in a state of trauma, don't hide from it. Embrace it, let it come out. Be empathetical to yourself. Don't chastise yourself for feeling in that negative space. Don't chastise yourself because people are saying this is how you should feel now. This is your timeline now. This is the textbook answer. This is what I'm telling you must do. No, you have to do it in your own time. We are all different, and we have to understand that these situations come to us and actually manifest themselves in us in different ways. And it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay not to. It's okay to seek justice. It's okay not to. But you have to do whatever you want to do in that moment for your own self-care. And self-care is important, especially when we come and actually we have things that put themselves right in front of us, such as mental health issues. Because something like this, that happens to you like that, doesn't go without its mental health issues. Where you feel distraught, you feel helpless, you feel that you wish you could have done something. You feel frustrated. You feel resentful. You feel anger, feel sadness. Lots of emotions. But it's really important for me to impress upon you that there is no shame in mental health. The only shame there is with those that are judgmental. And the first step is admitting that you have got something to deal with. And I call that bravery. You are a brave individual when you admit it, not when you hide it. Because by you admitting it, you're helping other people. And then you'll find that you'll have negative self-talk, put sometimes there by yourself, put there sometimes by other people. And I call the words that come out a false reality. You're saying you can't. Someone else tells you there's no way you can. That's not true. You won't know that until you've tried. So at least try, and you'll see what you're capable of. You are capable of so much more than what you even thought. Then you'll sometimes feel like you've got an anchor weighing around your neck, and the despair is so great that you don't know where to go, and it's drowning and drowning and drowning you. But you have to release it. Release it. Don't let it anchor you, but let it ground you to learn from that situation. I always say, through tragedy, through situations, through adversity breeds success. So that means success. How is that possible? Because there's always a lesson to be learnt. That's the true success. And you use it to push forward to be the better version of yourself. And then you have to learn to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Learn to share, whether in a group or one-to-one or with yourself in the mirror or in a journal. By letting and getting it out of you, it helps. Until you do that, you won't realize how much freer you feel and more methodical and actually clear focused you are to deal with the situation. So I say this to you all with love. Be kind to yourself and get out of your own way. Thank you.